Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got our Virus Metal Greymon mat and Chaos Digimon helping us out. Because we are going to be looking at the red deck I built. This is a primarily for playing with friends deck, so there is no side deck because I didn't want to confuse them. So it doesn't have a side deck like my Digimon deck does. And I'm not going to do a price breakdown because its basis was one of the pre-built starter decks. Not this one, but the first one. And so doing a price breakdown of this doesn't make sense to me since you're in at $10 and that's a playable deck. After that, if you're customizing it, that's all on you. So I'm not going to do a price breakdown of this because I just don't see the point in it. So this deck is primarily Greymon themed, but Chaos Digimon is helping us out today instead of our Black War Greymon because I used the Guillemon, Digimon memory marker cards. And that is because if you've seen the unboxing for the U-Force Digimon in the Guillemon decks, they're a nice thick plastic. So they are definitely an upgrade from the thinner paper ones that you get in the booster packs. And because this is a deck made for playing with friends, the next thing is the instructions on how to play. Just in case my opponent has some questions, and I go, I don't remember that one off the top of my head, or if they want to do something and not tip off what they have in their hand, they could look at these cards. So yeah, those are the rules that I put in the deck. Next up is the Digi-Eggs. And of course I put 5 in the deck. The first 4 are Coromons, which your turn, while this Digimon has 4 or more Digivolution cards, it gets plus 1000 DP. Pretty straightforward. And then Guillemon, your turn, while there are 5 or more cards in your opponent's trash, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. And really, you could go either way with these ones. I went 4-1. I could switch it later because blue does remove cards underneath, which means this one wouldn't happen as often. Whereas as long as the opponent's got 5 cards in their trash, this one would. And we're getting to that state where graveyard setup is becoming a thing. So I could see it actually being useful. So that is an option. I didn't do it. You could. Next up, I put in 2 copies of the starter deck 1 Agumon. These are a 3 play cost, a 0 Digivolution cost, 2000 DP, no active effect. The inherited effect of your turn, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. So kind of building up on that power. Next, I put in 2 copies of Guillemon. 3 play cost, 0 Digivolution cost, 2000 DP. Your turn, when this Digimon is blocked, gets plus 2000 DP. And this is again from the first starter deck. And this is just kind of to give a little bit of, I can't think of the word right now, variety, I guess, on what happens to them. Like neither of these are the main cards that I built it, but they're in there. Again, this is kind of not a super competitive one. So I'm not too worried about not having the optimal cards in it. Next up, 3 copies of Guillemon. And he is a 3 play cost, 0 Digivolution cost, 3000 DP, no active effect. And his inherited effect is your turn, while there are 5 or more cards in your opponent's trash, this Digimon gains 1000 DP. Again, working on that power level stuff, just to making sure that they could beat over anything. Next, because it's a cheap option for just coming out, I've got this Black Agumon, who is a 2 play cost, a 1 Digivolution cost, 4,000 DP, and no inherited or active effect. And that's mainly because of the 2 play costs, because if it's one of those times where like I have 1 memory and I want to kind of mess with my opponent, I could play this out directly, and for 2, just give him that 1 memory. So having a low memory cost, it's very useful at times. So I like to throw something like that in the decks. Next up, we have some promos, starting with the Spielman Promo. And this is a 3 play cost, a 0 Digivolution cost, 2,000 DP. Your turn, when this Digimon deletes one of your opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, draw 1 card from your deck. And that's its inherited effect. It has no active effect. Not very many rookies did at the time. And I put this one in there because because I'm planning on beating over a bunch of their stuff, so this would allow me to be rewarded. Instead of going for the security stack, I can swing into one of their Digimon and get a card out of it. And card advantage is everything in card games. And then we got 3 copies of a different promo, which is this Promo Agumon. And he's a 3 play cost, a 0 Digivolution cost, 2,000 DP. No active effect, but the inherited effect of your turn, while this Digimon has Greymon in its name, it gets plus 2,000 DP. And from here on out, there is a lot of Greymon. I think there's like 1 or 2 that aren't Greymon, but the rest are. And that's it for the rookies. So on to the champions. Sorry about that. Starting with Greymon. And this is from the starter deck. He's a 5 play cost, a 2 Digivolution cost, 4,000 DP. No active effect, but the inherited effect of security attack plus 1. So, like, already off the bat, using this Agumon, this guy becomes a 6,000 beater, which is not bad for just a champion. It's not amazing, but we're already getting that power creep going. Then, because I like putting blockers in the deck, just for those niche situations, we have 2 Quadramons, which is a 5 play cost, a 2 Digivolution cost, 6,000 DP. He's got the blocker ability, and when he attacks, he loses 2 memory. No inherited attack effect. And again, I put this one in here because it's good to have a blocker every once in a while to kind of stop your opponent from just steamrolling over you like I'm trying to do here. And then we got some more Greymons. Starting with this Greymon, who is a 4 play cost, a 2 Digivolution cost, 4,000 DP. And no active effect, but the inherited effect of this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP. So again, going for that power boost. And next, we've got this Vanilla Greymon, I'm going to call it. It's not really, but it's a 5 play cost, a 2 Digivolution cost, 4,000 DP. And it's got the security effect of, at the end of battle, play this card without paying its memory cost. Otherwise, it has no effect. So really, it's only useful in the security stack, which is why it's kind of vanilla. I put it in the deck because it's, again, a nice cheap Digivolution cost. So if I need to play out something small, also this guy can come out in security, so that's kind of neat. But other than that, nothing too amazing there. And then final of the champions, we have these 3 Greymon, who's a 5 play cost, a 2 Digivolution cost, 5,000 DP. His effect is when Digivolving, if this Digimon has Agumon in its Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. And his inherited effect of, while this Digimon has Omnimon or Greymon, other than the Doru, Burning, or Dex Greymon in its name, it gets plus 2,000 DP. So again, working on building up that that extra attack. And I don't have any of the 3 of those in, and I think everything from here on out is pretty much Greymons. So this guy would proc all the time, I think. So on to the Ultimates. Starting out with 2 copies of this Metal Greymon. 7 play cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 7,000 DP. And no active effect, inherited effect of your turn. When this Digimon is blocked, gain 3 memory. So that's the kind of the reason why I put him in here, is so if I do get him into a big beat stick and the opponent decides to block, like Diaboromons can gain blocker. So this guy goes in, they block, and then I gain memory for it. So that could prolong my turn and make them think twice about whether or not they really want to defend against it. And then one of my favorite plays from recent times is 4 copies of Metal Greymon Ultras mode. And it is an 8 play cost, a 3 Digivolution cost from a level 4, a 1 from a level 5, 8,000 DP. When Digivolving, if this Digimon card with Metal Greymon in its name, in its Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. And the inherited effect of while this Digimon has Omnimon or Greymon, other than Doru, Burning, or Dex Doru, in its name, it gets plus 2,000 DP. So the top effect is meh, but the bottom effect is where it's at for this, because it says it can Digivolve from a Metal Greymon. For one, this is a Metal Greymon. That's a Metal Greymon. That's a Metal Greymon. And that's a Metal Greymon. So for 1 memory, I could Digivolve from this one up to those, or even if I had a different Greymon, that is 4 memory to Digivolve 4 times, and now it gets plus 6,000 attack. So that turns this 8,000 into a 14,000. That is able to beat over basically any Mega. And we haven't even got to the Mega level, and at that point it would get plus 8,000. Is this going to happen often? No. But the fact that I can even throw one of them down and get an extra 2,000 boost, that is worth it to me. So next up on the list is, surprise, another Metal Greymon. He's the last of the Ultimates. And it is 2 copies of the EX Metal Greymon, who is a 7 play cost, can Digivolve from red or black. We're not caring about black because there is none in this deck. He's got 7,000 DP. When attacking, when one of your Digimon attacks a player, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. Again, that's not too good of a ability. The inherited effect, however, your turn, while this Digimon has Machine or Dragonkin in its trait, it gains Piercing. So when this Digimon attacks and deletes an opponent's Digimon and survives, it performs any security checks it normally would. So that right there, that's a good ability, because now I can attack into an opponent and go straight for their memory stack. And then we have the Megas. And there is one of each, because I like a little variety. Starting out, we have this starter deck, Greymon, who is a 12 play cost, a 4 Digivolution cost, 12,000 DP. Your turn, for every 2 Digivolution cards this Digimon has, it gains security attack +1. So pretty standard for when this came out. But in my opinion, still a good ability. Because for every 2, it gets an extra one. That could get a lot. Because you're talking from 2 to 5. That's going to be an extra 2 cards if you can hold on to them. Which you should be able to unless you're playing against blue. And so that's an extra 2 security attacks. He could attack for 3, which is amazing. And that's if we're not using some of the alter ones, because add another 4 onto that, and you got +4 security. He could do 5 and 1, which is insane. And there wouldn't really be anything to stop him in the security stack other than option cards. Next up, we got a different War Greymon. This is a 12 play cost, a 3 Digivolution cost, 11,000 DP. When Digivolving, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. And your turn, this Digimon doesn't activate security skills on option cards it checks. So I like this one because, again, we're going for high attack, so I'm not too worried about Digimon in the security stack. Option cards would be a problem, but because this guy can just beat over them, it again isn't too big of a deal. So that's another kind of option to do. So if I have both Greymons in my hand, I can be like, which one suits this need better? Next up, we've got Blitz Greymon. He's a 12 play cost, a 4 Digivolution cost from either red or black. Again, don't worry about black in this situation. 12,000 DP. He's got Piercing on his own, and when Digivolving, they Digivolve 2 on one of your opponent's Digimon. And that's a great one because I can just, if they have a big Mega out, I can just play this guy down when it's Digivolving, take out the Mega and the Ultimate underneath it, and just swing into it to destroy that one. And then because it's got Piercing, I can hit through to their security stack. So that kind of like control is very useful. And then the final Mega for the deck is Emperor Greymon, who's a 12 play cost, a 4 Digivolution cost, 12,000 DP. When Digivolving Blitz, this Digimon can attack when your opponent has one or more memory. And your turn, once per turn, when this Digimon is blocked, unsuspend it, and gain 1 memory for each Digivolution card this Digimon has with hybrid in its traits. So that second one's not really going to proc at all because we don't have any hybrids. But the ability of being able to put it down, and even though it's the opponent's turn, being able to attack is pretty good. So that's what put this one in the deck for me. Next up, we got the Tamer cards. Starting with 2 copies of the starter deck tie. Pretty simple, 2 play cost. Active effect, your turn, all of your Digimon get plus 1,000 DP. Security effect, play this card without paying its memory cost. I put these in there because it's another cheap one if I'm stuck at 1 memory to give my opponent very little. I might swap it out depending if better Tamers come in. Next up, I got a Sora that I put in, who's a 3 play cost. Your turn, when one of your red Digimon attacks a player, you may suspend this Tamer to give that Digimon plus 2,000 DP for the turn. And security effect, play this card without paying its memory cost. So again, if I need that extra boost, this could give it to me. And then finally, my most expensive Tamer, being this other tie, who's a 4 play cost, and he has the, if you have 2 memory or less, set your memory to 3. Your turn, all of your Digimon with 4 more Digivolution cards gain security attack +1. And security effect, play this card without paying its memory cost. And now we get into the option cards. Starting with Shadow Wing, which is a 1 play cost. Main, one of your Digimon gets plus 3,000 DP for the turn. And security effect, all of your Digimon gain security attack +1 until the end of your next turn. So again, if I need to beat over something, if they've got a Mega out and I've only got an Ultimate, this could be the difference between me not being able to kill it and me being able to kill it, especially with how much power boost is in this deck. So that's what it's doing in here. Next, also from the starter deck, we have 4 copies of Starlight Explosion, which is a 2 play cost. Main, all of your security Digimon get plus 7,000 DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. And the security effect of all your security Digimon get plus 7,000 DP for the turn. And I put these in here as kind of stalling. so that like I can play one, and now my opponent has to think like all of his Digimon got plus 7,000 DP, security Digimon, so I can't really swing into them because like even if it's ultimate or champion, like a champion, most of them in this deck are like 4,000, I think. This would bring it up to 11. So unless they've got a mega, they've got to think about it. And if anything higher than a champion is in that security stack, it's probably going to delete them. Then we got one copy of Giga Destroyer from the starter deck. And this is a 6 play cost. Main, delete up to 2 of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. And security effect, activate this card's main effect. I put this in here because if I'm going up against a Rookie Rush, maybe this is useful. Or in similar decks like this, it could happen. I don't want to go higher than this, simply because that doesn't seem worth it. I would probably put this in like the pile of if I need to switch out a card for a side deck, this is what I would do. That's one of the things I would give. And then we've got this Gaia Force card, which is an 8 play cost. Just straight up delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Security effect, activate this card's main effect. So this is just a removal card. It's very good in my opinion to just, because like even if you're giving your opponent a lot of memory, just to be like, nope, your Mega's gone. Nope, your level 7's gone. That is very important. And then we got ones from the booster. I started with ones in the starter decks in each area, and that's because, again, these are the easiest to get, so that's where I put them. So now going back down to 1 play costs for option cards, we've got a Delicate Plan. 1 play cost, main, one of your Digimon gets, this Digimon doesn't activate security effect on any of any cards it checks for the turn. And security effect, add this card to your hand. Again, being able to ignore security effects, and it says all effects, so it means whether it's an option card or a Digimon or even a Tamer card, it's not going to activate. So that's a super powerful card for me, which is why I put 2 of them in the deck. I think it's great. I don't think it's great to be run at 4. Next up, we got Brave Shield. It is a 5 play cost. Main, unsuspend one of your Digimon until the end of your opponent's next turn. That Digimon gains blocker. And the security effect of unsuspend one of your Digimon, that Digimon gains blocker for the turn. So this one I put in there because I'm going to have big beat sticks, and being able to unsuspend it and give it blocker to, again, kind of stall my opponent for a turn or make them have to do really hard choices. Definitely worth it. Or they could just forget that I did that if I do it early in the turn. Like if I have an ultimate and I attack with the ultimate, and then I play this down and I unsuspend him and I turn him into a Mega, and then I attack with something else. He might forget that I did Brave Shield on him, in which case, during his turn, he'll attack, and I'll just block with him because I did it. So that could be a good kind of misdirection move. Then we got this 6 play cost, Shield of the Just. Main, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 DP or less. If you have a Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8,000 DP or less instead. With 4 Tamers in the deck, it's going to be a fairly good chance that we've got a Tamer out. So being able to delete a Digimon with 8,000 DP for a price of 6, it's not horrible. And the security effect is to activate this card's main effect. So again, this is in the security stack. I've got a Tamer out, 8,000 just gone. Finally, we've got this promo of a 0 cost, Ties Growing Up. And main, if you have Tai in play, you may place one of your Agumon cards at the bottom of your owner's deck to trigger draw 3 cards. Try set Digimon's Digivolution cards. And This is in here because I could easily have Tai out, I could have that black Agumon out, or I could have that black Agumon in my hand, and I could play 2 memory to play it out, and then I could immediately play this card to send that card to the bottom of the deck, and then I get to draw 3 cards, which is great card advantage. And that's essentially 2 memory for 3 cards, which I think is a good swap. So as I've been talking about, for this deck, the main idea is to build up a big attack power. And so, like, what do I think the optimum stack would be, essentially, is, of course, to have our tie out so that if the Digimon has 4 or more Digivolution cards, it gains security attack +1. And then we start out with a Koromon. And we put this Promo Agumon on. And then from there, we would put this Greymon on. That gives him an extra security attack. And then we give him this Metal Greymon that gives him piercing. If he's got that Dragon Cannon traits. And then we play Alterous Mode on him. And then finally we go into, like, this Greymon. This War Greymon. So now, he's got 4 more, so it gets plus 1,000 DP. Plus 2,000 DP, because it still has Greymon in its name, so that's plus 3,000. An extra security attack. Gets piercing. Gets another 2,000 DP, so that's plus 5,000 DP. Oops, sorry, Guillemon. And for every 2 cards in this Digimon stack, it gets +1. So it's gotten +1, +2 from the Tamer, plus another 2 from all this stuff. So that's +4, so it does 5. And it's got plus 5,000 DP and piercing. This is a 17,000 attack that attacks for 5 security stack with piercing. So I don't think there's anything other than an option card that could stop it. And you play that, what is it, a fair game option card for 1. And all of a sudden, this guy can swing into an opponent's Digimon, delete it, and then go through the entire security stack. Because there is nothing in there that could activate. Taking out all 5, and then you just need to do 1 more attack. And it'd be over. So that's the optimal play, and like what I was kind of going for with this deck. Is it likely to happen? No, that's not likely to happen. There's likely to be some disruption. But that's the optimum. So like in a sub-optimum, like maybe you can only attack 3 security cards. Maybe he's only like 15. But there's still enough synergy here with all of the Agumons that only work for Greymons, to all the Metal Greymons working with all the Megas. But I think that this is a viable deck to use, at least in a friendly kind of surroundings. So with that, that is a look at the red deck that I had made. Next week, we're going to take a look at the blue deck that I had built and modified from a starter deck to start with. Before we end, though, we do have one of these to open. So it's Grand Koagumon, Black War Greymon, or Metal Garurumon, any of those. We've already opened one of each. I guess thematically, it'd be great if we could get a Black War Greymon. That'd be kind of thematic. After all, we just did a Greymon deck. Look at that, a Black War Greymon. Oh, that is... I love it when that happens. Just kind of like a Destiny kind of moment. So this Black War Greymon is 11 play cost, 3 Digivolution cost, 11,000 DP. Main effect, Digiburst 2, so trash 2 of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to unsuspend this Digimon. It's alright. I was never a fan of the Digiburst, and I don't feel like the community was either, because you're getting rid of some of your playmakers to just do an instant kind of bonus. So I probably wouldn't play this guy unless somewhere down the line we got more graveyard support where maybe there's cards that can put those cards back underneath it or something else. But it'd have to be something like maybe a 4 play cost option card that allows you to put a Digivolution card back underneath, and if you have like 8 or more cards in your trash, you instead get to put 2 back. Something like that. Something that scales so that it actually makes sense. Otherwise, I don't see Digiburst coming back anytime soon. But yeah, there you go. That was a look at the red deck. If there's anything that I could do to improve that deck, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't, please subscribe. It really does help. We're getting closer to those 100 subscribers, which I would love. Maybe I'll do something special if we get to 100 subscribers. I have an idea. I do have an idea about that. But until then, I will see you next time.